you know, despite the issues, especially in that matchup against FaZe a little while ago.
If there were to be any change...
I was just going to say, for better or for worse, compLexiy has been getting a lot more practice in these tournaments as of late, where they've had to play through maps more than other teams have. So on some level, I mean, it is a little bit of extra practice in a very high-stakes situation, but we'll see where things go here. I think if you go off history, compLexiy has usually had Cloud9's number. Cloud9 has been playing very strong as of late, though, so we'll have to see. And also, I'm trying to remember, I don't think Cloud9 and compLexiy have actually played much since Cloud9 got their new roster. compLexiy, of course, was very familiar with the old C9 roster, but C9 has had a whole bunch of differences in their roster where they've replaced 3 members. No longer are Reaver, Grego, and Debet with the team, and compLexiy's old strategy used to be one of just isolating Surefour and trying to make Reaver beat them. Well, if they do that now, Mendo might have more to say about it.
I was going to say, if it was a slight change, instead of running double hit scan, maybe it's Soldier for McCree. In the same way that McCree is better at shutting down Tracer and Genji, if they don't want to go a double hit scan, maybe they switch out Soldier and they run the single McCree as the only DPS.
Well, we'll see now, folks, as the game is about to begin. And you're just this little special snowflake, aren't you? Well, they are going to run Surefour on the McCree, as Lord Slasher has predicted.
He's now a Lord? He's been upgraded
Slasher.
to Lord?
Well, I'm trying to make him my best friend.
All right.
I feel like I'm making significant progress this broadcast, CP, so please don't get in my way. Thank you. Preach, dog. But anyway, so here we go. It's all down to what does compLexiy do. Of course, they won't know until those final seconds.
I mean, before they ran D.Va instead because they saw a double hit scan, I'm not sure if a single McCree it will be the reason that they changed to D.Va instead. But we'll see. Once they spot it out, we'll see if they change or not.
Take a look here at the offense. compLexiy not going to be changing from what has been working out for them. They will be showing that Sombra here once more. And again, the standpoint of the strategy, very, very simple. You go in with the Sombra, you build ultimate. You're not trying to go for early pickoff, so if you get one, all the more power to you. Torque right now will be methodical. He's going to throw down a translocator, go in, look for a little bit of poke, and let his team get the health pack. And look at that. Even though JKW goes down, someone grabbed Torque's health pack. He gained 25% ult charge there.
Yeah, Harblue was the one who went for it, and he's just stacking on those healths for him, man. He's at 69% health here with this health pack. Mendo's going to fall pretty early on this fight, though, and Harblue's going right back for it. 92% now for the Sombra, and that just means that this fight is going to be initiated relatively soon, and if they are not careful, that could be curtains here for them. Harblue looking to get into a prime position. Torque now has that EMP hex, or excuse me, too many times. ZP.
I'm not a sellout, okay? I'm terrible at selling things, but Harblue does get that first hook off on to Rib to start things out. Torque hang on to the EMP, perhaps being a little bit greedy here, thinking that they can win with that, but no, drops the EMP towards the end of the fight, but might be a little bit too late. He was waiting on it, could have gotten a little bit more off it earlier on, but C9 starting to bring this back at least a little bit. It is back and forth between the both sides, and C9, they're gonna have to back out, but here comes Surefour in over the top with the nano boosted Deadeye, throws a bullet right to Nicholas, gets the double kill, and C9 might be able to bring this back yet. It's gonna be very close.
A strong possibility here. Rolf is going to be left alone here on the point, as well as Adam. So Adam having to back away, and that means compLexiy is just going to continue to gain some more, charge here on this objective. Will this be the opportunity they need to be able to secure this, get themselves their first point? Seems like Joe, though, is now going to try and support as best as he can. Having to back away, though, there goes the self-destruct, forcing Joe Meister to get out of the fray here. And you are going to have Harblue and JKW now just running roughshod all over the objective. And that is going to be potentially a cap here, of course, if Mendo has something to say about it. But never mind. Mendo gets hooked by Harblue, and now we're going to start the streets phase.
So, compLexiy, they didn't quite get that point as quickly as they would have wanted. I do think there's a case where Torque probably should have EMP'd a little bit earlier. But again, teams do like managing Ulticami. If they were able to take it without the EMP on that first push, they would have an even better second push. But here comes Torque, going to the back line, holding on to the EMP. Doesn't even use it right now, just going in the Reinhardt, but gets stymied by the defensive matrix. A really nice showing there from Kai. They keep Rib alive. Rib is going to get healed up in the back now by Rolf. And compLexiy gonna have to win this fight the old-fashioned way. No early Reinhardt pick, but there it is. Torque into the backline. Down goes the EMP. And C9, they back out and deal with this in an okay fashion.
That has to be so frustrating, ZP, because you know you're looking good in this fight, and then here comes the EMP. But you know what though? Despite that, they were able to fight back here. So kudos to Cloud9 on a great hold, and Surefour, of course, you know, on the end of that one, managing to pick up 3, and now he has a Deadeye as well. So Cloud9 has found that answer thus far for you know, for this Sombra, because we've seen, you know, especially in that phase matchup, they really struggled in the initial phase here against Sombra.
It is interesting, and I do think C9, they were looking at compLexiy. compLexiy kind of telegraphed that opening there, where it was very obvious what they were going for, and they just gave a lot of space, and even though Torque landed the EMP, the fall through was immediately there. And now C9 in over the top. The sound barrier going to be coming in from compLexiy, but they're not immediately able to dive in. They get Rib, but here's Surefour in over the top. Says, I'm not even going to play this game with you, Nicholas. Drops the Deadeye, lands a flashbang, takes him out, and compLexiy now a little bit in a rough spot as they try and bring this back over.
They're going to do everything they can here, and Surefour, man, he has just been on a tear, picking off the Zen there as well, so Shea couldn't really stand too long, and JKW falls. And another successful hold here for Cloud9 as they are looking to stop them in their tracks. They will have Torque with the EMP as well as JKW with an Earth Shatter. Will this be the push, you know, that they need? Nicholas is close to getting himself his tack visor. Meanwhile, though, Rib and Mendo will have ult on the ready. Let's see how this fight unfolds here as JKW is going to go in for the initiation. Surefour actually dives in like an eagle there and manages to find himself too, but he won't be able to follow it up because Nicholas had him. But thankfully, Mendo there with the Roadhog picks him up.
Does work out for C9 towards the very end. Surefour, a valiant sacrifice, but does get 2 before going down. And the rest of C9 very content to go in and clean up the rest of compLexiy. So compLexiy find themselves getting stalled out over and over here. They still have the EMP, but I will say that for this final push, if Torque doesn't get a good EMP here, I'd probably expect him to swap off to anything other than Sombra, just in the effort of trying to make anything work here on second. But you take a look here at C9, they're holding back. KaiKai about to get the self-destruct. He's going to look to open up with this here in a moment, and Mendo's going to be right there at the fall through, but there's the EMP to open up the fight. But Surefour on the shake immediately. C9 handling this pretty well.
Yeah, and one thing I did want to note as well was that you had 6 members of Cloud9 able to, you know, get those ults. So that certainly wasn't going to look good. Even with the EMP doing the work that it does, you know, you were still going to have all those ults to answer to once that EMP wore off. And that ended up proving, you know, to be the case there. C9 just couldn't quite hang as Rolf, Mendo, and Adam worked together there to really take advantage of the situation. And now they're getting ready for another hold, folks. But this is looking like C9. They have done some great work against compLexiy. They have 30 seconds now, ZP.
Well, they do have Torque swapping off onto Soldier, but here's Surefour in over the top. Deadeye up and out to right. KaiKai opening things with a bang. Finds Showmeister early on. Surefour gonna pile on with that Deadeye. It's 2-1 in favor of C9. Diva gonna get knocked right over Mech, and again, C9's positioning here has been sublime. They haven't been giving compLexiy the engages they've been looking for. Even compLexiy had EMP, they had to overdive to try and commit on it. And this is their last ditch effort here. 5 seconds left remaining. It is do or die here for compLexiy. They cannot leave the payload for any reason, but they are outgunned and outmanned right now, Golden Boy.
Yeah, and they all had to back away. You are going to have Wolf with that nano boost. And it's going to hit the old-fashioned with Rib. Rib says not today, pushes forward, and that is going to be a hold at 1 point for compLexiy on Hollywood. Slasher, I mean, you know, that certainly is something I did not expect. I know you know, you're still are you actually, you're in the game now, but geez Louise, that's
I'm
insane.
actually able to spectate now.
Yeah.
I think the McCree choice was very good. I mean, they were not, besides the first point, compLexiy was not able to get much done, especially with Sombra. They probably needed to switch off sooner, and Cloud9, after they got high ground, was just able to hold them down.
Yeah. ZP, I do have a question for you, because one thing Slasher said that made a lot of sense was, you know, you had, the Sombra out on Torque for quite a while, but they didn't switch it out. And you notice that they were really waiting for that chance to use that EMP, and there were like, I think,
Right.
2 or 3 attacks where Torque just couldn't bust out the EMP. Did that play a factor at all? You know, in that like he had this great initiation ultimate, but just couldn't use it, and that was taking time off the clock.
Well, of course. I mean, the problem is that for them is that C9 knows how compLexiy wants to engage us here, and they were very deliberately spread out all over the course of Hollywood. And for compLexiy, they know how they want to get a good EMP engage, but if everyone's spread out, they weren't able to find the engage they were looking for, so rather than compLexiy just trying to go for a slightly less valuable engage, they were still looking for that perfect way of going in. C9 didn't give it to them, and as a result, compLexiy looked a little bit lost for multiple pushes in a row. So, again, I think it's a case where C9 is definitely taking a look at what compLexiy has been doing recently and going, okay, if you're running the Sombra, she's not as individually as destructive as other DPS heroes, but her ultimate is very strong, so it's probably worthwhile to give up the benefit of being in somewhat of a death ball just so you don't give Sombra the crazy good EMPs that she is in fact looking for.
Yeah, and well, now as we begin this next phase here, it is going to be Cloud9's time to attack, and with only 1 point left, there's not a lot of progress that they're going to have to make, especially as we get ready for that Streets phase, if they get there. Granted, though, Rib, it seems like he wants to make that a reality as he's able to pick up 2. Losing coL, though, is going to hurt, but Rib is just all over the place, man. This guy's on fire. He manages to find himself 3 there, Surefour, with the clear as well. And ladies and gentlemen, Rib, this guy is a monster on Reinhardt.
Mendo goes for the ledge jump, does get the ledge jump, and all it does is hasten his demise, runs right into Harblue. Mendo a little bit far out there, but in the end, doesn't really matter for C9. Rib, of course, going crazy on the first point, and Rib honestly does that more than a lot of other Reinhardts in the game, where it won't happen every fight, but every now and then, C9 will just get a fight because Rib puts himself in great positioning, is able to get a great charge with good follow-up, and then C9 goes from there. And that's important for a team. You need to have multiple threats, but next fight is underway. We do have the switch up here to Mei. Nicholas throws down the wall, and Mendo gets himself caught out again, so they're going to have to wait for Mendo here to go in for this next push.
Yeah, Mendo and, you know, his dive obviously is very important. He will have Dragon Blade too. In a little bit. So with Surefour and the Deadeye, as well as Rib with the Earth Shatter, you can really expect that combination to be quite deadly here. And let's see how this works out. Rib, though, is going to get focused on right away, and that was going to come courtesy of Nicholas's wall. Rolf is going to bust out that Transcendence. Not really getting much for that one, though, as they lose Adam. And now C9 having to back away yet again because they really do need Rib to come up here with that presence. There goes the Earth Shatter, though, and just look at the cleaning up happening here. Surefour is going to fall. coL, luckily for him, is able to pick up JW, and Rolf and him are going to try and work together to pick off this Mei. But this is a fight here that I'm not really feeling, you know, C9 on this fight this far, especially with the way that Nicholas has been able to section off these supports.
Well, the interesting thing here is that compLexiy has basically been taking a page of NIP's book here, where they've been incredibly aggressive with their tank setup, but that's kind of what they have to be. You take a look at where they have to defend. They don't have much room to give, but it's interesting. I'd actually like to see this aggressiveness have compLexiy in less do-or-die situations. And speaking of do-or-die, Harblue looking for the flank on the side, did have a Karina sights, doesn't quite get it, but they're going to be aggressive. They're going to push forward and get C9 back. But remember, for C9, all they need here, Golden Boy, is one fight to take this map.
That's right. Could this very well be the fight, because Harblue's going to go down early, and you're going to have Surefour putting down a significant amount of damage. There goes Mendo and Rib working together here, and despite the monkey being out in rage mode, I don't know if it's going to be enough here, as Surefour, alongside with his teammate, are able to hold him off long enough for his squad to secure that point, making it 2-1. GG. Cloud9 takes game 1.
And for C9, the question is this a statement from them where they're going to be saying, look, compLexiy is no longer a kryptonite, we're going to come out, we're not going to lose to them like we did in the past, and we'll have to see. I do think this new C9 team is heavily improved, and Rib is a big reason for it. Oh, yeah. Rib, of course, for those who don't know his history, he did sub in for Misfits in the Overwatch Open, was a really big reason as to why they were able to win it all there. Now, of course, Skipjack is part of the Misfits permanent roster, he's just a sub, but he's found a great home here with C9, and he's part of the reason why C9 doesn't always have to rely on Surefour level heroics.